that majorly affect us, but most of the time we tend to ignore them. That is stress and depression. I'm joined with a team of young people from different parts of Nairobi, where they will be joining us in this conversation. And I'm also joined with Madam Malvin, who is the counselor. She will tell us more about herself shortly. So, for us to understand what stress and depression is, we'd want to hear some of the experiences that people have gone through. My team here has gone through. So, I'll start with Fred.
Okay, I've been a victim of kind of depression and stress. Lately, I married at a young age. I married at a young age, and I got family at around 23. Yeah, by that time I was a business person, and and I was doing work for BAT, and kidogo kidogo, uh, those things zilikuja zika happen once. I lost my job, my business ikakuja ikaibiwa. In that period of me kumon kutafuta shughuli ingine, and then my wife together with my kid wakaishia. So ikafika point fulani I could handle anything. By the time nilikuwa kurealize hivi na kam kufungiwa hao, and that thing that led me ikanipeleka kwa street for 3 months. In the process nikiwa kwa street ndo nilidevelop, by the way, niko na hii kitu.
Tuko na mtoi mmoja na naweza sema ilikuwa ni hustle. Alafu najua pia my wife, ama niseme huo mwenye alikuwa my wife alikuwa anatoka background poa, so unajua expectations ni mob. Walikuwa na demand a lot wedding nini, alafu unajua ni hiyo period ya covid tu, so una imagine uko mahali job kwanza imekatika, alafu unaletewa demands zingine zenye you can't meet. So surviving imekuwa tough, siwezi kudanganya. Hata ndio ni venture into business kwanza ilikuwa ni decision nyingine yenye siku hata nifanye, because hata sikuwa najipicture na the kind of job that I was doing. Kenya nafanya sahii naifanya tu because I have to put food on my table, but it's not something I'm proud doing. So pia ni kind of stress too.
Mimi vile nilimaliza shule, you know, tukiwa tunaingia form 1 form 2 hapo, you're very
Active.
You have goals, your visions and all this. Then when you happen to get a grade that was not your expectation, inaanza kukutorment from that point onwards. So nimerudi home, nimeambia mom, nimekuwa na B minor. Ananiangalia, okay, like she's trying to celebrate me, but bado ananionyesha like, that's not you. Yeah. By then tulikuwa tunaingia campus na ilikuwa be strong. Ilikuwa tukue kijana lazima uwe na be strong. And I come from a very humble background, by the way. Depression started building from right there. So hata vile nilienda kusomea kitu sikuwa nataka. All through that course I was depressed. Yeah. So I turned into drugs. You know, I started being careless.
My whole life, I branded myself as a sad girl because basically I've never known happiness, to be honest. I've had a rough childhood, from being raped by someone who was so close to me, to finding out that the man I always knew as my father was actually never my father at all. Yes, this man has taken care of you, but you're not related in any way, he's not your father. But then things took a 360 turn, I would say, because at some point your father does not even want to know how you're living. They do not know how you're surviving. Whatever you're doing, that's up to you. You're not their daughter in the first place. The first time I came to realize he was not my father, they were having issues with my mom. They used to quarrel a lot at some points. And then when you hear a man tell your mother, hata huyo mtoto mrudishe kwa baba yako, it's not easy. And then you're like questioning yourself, who is this mtoto mwenye anafaa kurudishwa kwa babake? And then at the end of the day, your mother tells you, it's you. You have to go back to your father. So you are caught in between two lives. You have to decide. Because at that point, I just cleared high school. I just cleared high school, fresh from high school. And then I got raped after high school. So there's that accumulating, there's thoughts, you don't know what to do. And then you're told, this guy is not your father. that is also something else. Not forgetting, through my life, I've been haunted by people I don't know. I get killed in my dreams. I don't know.
Okay. Just compose yourself and
So all of my childhood, it has been nightmares. This is not your father. And then I think that's where my depression crept in.
Madam Malvin, we want to really understand what we want to differentiate between stress and depression from their experiences. How would you tell us what is stress and depression?
Okay. I'll say this. I'm trying to come up with a small illustration in my head. Um, depression is a destination, okay?
Yeah.
But what gets you there is stress. But I want to say this: everyone goes through stress. All of us here have stress.
Yeah.
There's good stress, there's bad stress. What makes the difference is how you react to it. Okay? Now, what makes you have stress is expectations, bottom line. You know, like for Fred, the first expectation was, I'll have a family, I have a job, I'll provide for them. My wife will, will love me because of what I have, and my child will go to school. Those were the expectations he had put.
Yeah.
So when this job ended, that expectation was cut short. And once it's cut short, I mean, let's not to make it small, his situation. How many people lose jobs but
So many.
still go on?
Yeah.
Okay, so how he reacts to it makes the whole difference. How the wife reacted to it is what made the difference. She took off, and maybe she saw there was no hope, and she left. And so the events of what follows up after the stress has happened is what makes the difference. So it is how you react to it that makes the difference. But I like what Fred said, that acceptance.
Yeah.
The key to survive any kind of stress is accepting.
So uliamka one morning aje ukasema enough is enough. I can't do this. I think I'm doing this because of depression.
Actually, in my journey, that was the hardest thing to accept, that you're gonna depression. That was the hardest. A time comes, like people are moving on, people are graduating. Yeah, your family is like giving up on you because Jakoki walete anything. Yeah, so I had to first accept myself.
Yeah.
That was step number one. That drugs are messing me up, and the reason as to why they are messing me up, it's a long story. So I was so bitter first. Then I had to accept that my bitterness won't solve anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I started cutting friends. Then kidogo kidogo, me started watching Christianity things kwa TV. Wajua huku nje ungeangusha crew sana. Like, umekuwa pastor. Hii period nilikuwa self isolation. Me thank God I developed a culture of reading books.
I normally don't talk about it because after I talk about it, there's that feeling of hating yourself, feeling worthless. So I normally don't talk about it.
What is the hardest case you've ever dealt with on depression?
The hardest and the most difficult place or somewhere someone can be is hopelessness.
Yeah.
When someone feels, you know what, I'm not even worthy to wake up. Nobody needs me in this life. That is the end someone can get. And when she says, I have attempted to commit suicide, we normally say that men don't attempt, they commit suicide. But ladies, we do, because we are a bit scared, and then you scream in the middle of tying yourself with a rope because we're not so sure we want to do this. And I look at it and I always say, then ladies are stronger.
Yeah.
Because we will scream and still want to leave. But these guys, they decide and they are gone, and they are gone completely.
Yeah.
So look at it as a strength. As much as you've missed to die, don't look at it as, you see, I'm a victim, I even wanted to kill myself. No, look at it and say, I survived this. So it means there is sense for me to be around. There's someone who needs me. I might not know who it is. There's something I still need to do around here. That's why I'm not dead.
So as we wrap up, ningependa to pay a word of encouragement to those people who want to watch. kuna watu wana go through the same thing you're going now. So a brief word of encouragement.
It is not the end of everything.
I'm pleading with whoever will watch this, with whoever will listen to this. Help us, man. We need you.
To someone watching out there, depression kills, and the minute you accept you're depressed and you talk to someone, talk to as many people as you can and just get help.
For those watching us, I just urge you to support that men, young men, 20s to 30s. We need to be heard. We need to be heard.
Depression is a destination. We will always have stress, different kind of stresses, but how you handle it makes the difference. So if you're there and maybe you're stuck into something, you're feeling depressed, another thing that triggers out of depression is addictions. You're addicted to something wrong, you know. You're addicted maybe to pornography, you're addicted to masturbation, you're addicted to sex, you're addicted to something that is slowly destroying you. It will end you up in depression. But the only way out, two things: accept that you're actually stuck and you need help, and number two, reach out. So there is hope, and we are going to make this, and we are going to make it in life, and you are going to be successful. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you for joining us on our show. We really appreciate that you opened up to your story and it has helped someone outside here. We also want to thank our counselor. She has enlightened us on so many things that we didn't know. As you watch this discussion, I hope it helps you, it encourages you, it even gives you a move that you wake up one morning and seek for help, accept your situation, and start picking up from it. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the end of our discussion on E Squared Mtaani. I was your host, Elizabeth.